Amid mounting pressure to tackle rising prices at the grocery store, the Trump administration says it's taking action. On Friday, President Trump signed an executive order allowing dozens of products like coffee, bananas, and beef to be exempted from his sweeping tariffs. The move marks a notable reversal for Trump, who has repeatedly insisted tariffs are necessary to protect U.S. businesses and workers. Let's discuss now with journalist Rick Newman. He is a former Yahoo Finance columnist who now authors the Substack, a newsletter, The Rick Report. Hey, how are you, Rick? All right, thanks for being with us. So is this potentially going to make an impact?
I don't think anybody's going to notice, to be honest. So just to underscore what you just said, Frederica, Trump is removing his own tariffs on what is about, I don't know, looks like a couple hundred products. You can find the whole list of products. I mean, Trump says he's focusing on stuff that you can't easily grow or produce in the United States. So it's coffee. That's important. Coffee's up 19% year over year. It's bananas, it's pineapples, it's mangoes, it's cinnamon, it's cumin, it's capers. So all he's doing is taking away the tax that he imposed on those products earlier this year. I don't think those products, or at this point, I don't even think groceries really are the main thing that is what people think of as the affordability problem. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has been getting more expensive and going up in price by more than income. And Trump has not said much about a lot of that stuff yet.
I mean, groceries is just one of the many things that, is hitting people hard. I mean, it's why folks are unable to save. They're spending most of their earnings. So the Trump administration's, Trade Representative Jamieson Greer was asked yesterday whether the president's tariffs have raised costs on Americans. And this is what he said.
Depends what the importers do with the tariff. When you look at the overall price trend, it hasn't been because of tariff. It's been because of these other events going on and just supply and demand.
Is he right?
That's careful parsing. There are a lot of things that affect prices and inflation. Tariffs is one of them. I mean, there are many economic analyses that are nonpartisan on this, and they find that, let's say Trump's tariffs as they exist today, if they stand in place for a year, they're going to add something like $1,500 or $1,800 or $2,000 to the cost of a typical household. So tariffs are we go back to basics. Tariffs are a tax that the importer, which can be Walmart, Target, a wholesaler, or any kind of company, that American company has to pay the tax to the U.S. Treasury. So their costs go up, and they try to pass as much of those costs onto their own customers as they can, all the way down to you and me. Now, their alternative is just to have higher costs and lower profits, but no company wants to do that. So this is affecting companies and consumers, no matter how you parse it.
Yeah. And then there's new data, showing how tough this affordability crisis is for so many Americans. An analysis by Bank of America released this week shows nearly a quarter of U.S. households are living paycheck to paycheck this year. They spend over 95% of their income on necessities like housing, gasoline, groceries, childcare, utilities. So is that startling to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's worrisome for sure. But so we're calling it the affordability crisis in 2025. Much of this is not new. I mean, the tariffs are a new type of pressure, and Trump rolled those out at about exactly the wrong time. But this is wealth inequality and income inequality that we've been talking about for a long time. I mean, we've got a shareholder class in the United States, and we have a working class in the United States. And if you're lucky enough to own stocks and own a home, and you bought that home and you were able to refinance at 3% on a mortgage, then you're in good shape. But if you are trying to buy a new home, you're priced out. If you're living on a paycheck and you don't have financial assets, you don't feel like you're getting ahead. So these are long-term problems that seem to be intensifying, and Trump is now the one stuck having to deal with it. And so far, he's been very tone deaf to what is a really serious problem for millions of Americans.
Yeah, seriously tough times for a lot of people. All right, Rick Newman, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Trump administration is scrambling to make good on a campaign promise that, by his own account, won him re-election: to bring prices down. One solution, reversing part of Trump's tariff policy. The president yesterday signed an executive order to retroactively lower tariffs on beef, tomatoes, coffee, and bananas. The agricultural items are now excluded from reciprocal tariffs, but not the tax entirely. The move comes after Trump claimed falsely that prices have fallen during his administration. CNN correspondent Rafael Romo is joining me live from a food giveaway event in Atlanta. And have things been picking up?
Yes, we saw a lot of activity in the last couple of hours here, Fred. Unfortunately, this effort is wrapping up. But let me tell you, it is one thing to talk about the state of the economy, inflation, tariffs, and the government shutdown. And an entirely different thing, Fred, is when you actually see people in need coming to an event like this one, a food drive, because they need help. And what the organizers told us is that they were prepared to help about 1,000 families today. All of the boxes that you see behind me, some of the tables and the tents, they were set up so that people would get vegetables, they would get chicken, they would get potatoes, some non-perishables. And we saw lines of cars lining up here right next to me, picking up all of that food. But the reality is that the challenge is not over, Fred. And we heard earlier from Dr. Bernice King, the chairman of the King Center, who said that even though today was a great day to help many families in need, they're bracing for what's coming next in the next few weeks and the next few months. This is what she had to say.
Although the shutdown is over, we know that people are still suffering. They're still struggling. We're living in very precarious times. And so we want the world to know today that although the shutdown is over, we have not shut down our compassion.
And Fred, for this event, two organizations have joined forces. One, of course, is the King Center. The other one is New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. They are helping people who are not necessarily thinking about Thanksgiving, even though we're less than 2 weeks away. I earlier spoke with the beneficiary who told me that she didn't even know what she was going to put on her table tonight for dinner. This is what she had to say.
It's every day. It's tonight. I need dinner for tonight. So that's how serious it is for me. It's not trying to get holidays. So this is going to make a huge, huge difference in my life.
And finally, Fred, people, yes, are celebrating the fact that the government shutdown is over. They're celebrating the fact that the president has decided to lower tariffs on some items, like you mentioned at the beginning. But the problem is that this need from many people is not over, and those actions may be a little too little, too late for some of them. Now back to you.
Yeah, the needs are so great and continue to mount. All right, Rafael Romo, thanks so much.
The Hunger Nation. There was a time when food stamps were meant for the few, not the many. Today, under Trump's second presidency, hunger lines stretch longer than job lines. Supermarket shelves stay full, but dinner tables do not. The richest country in the world has become a nation of empty fridges and full rhetoric, where politicians argue about efficiency while millions choose between groceries and gas. Trump calls it a temporary adjustment, but it's a national humiliation. His administration slashed food aid programs under the banner of ending dependency, only to create a new one, dependence on charity. Churches, shelters, and community pantries now do the job Washington abandoned. And when critics point to the data, record numbers of families applying for SNAP benefits, children fainting in underfunded schools, the White House replies with denial. Trump doesn't see hunger as a policy failure. He sees it as political leverage. His message to the poor is simple. Loyalty earns you mercy. Dissent earns you starvation. States that defied him on tariffs or immigration saw their aid budgets reviewed. Governors who praised him got federal relief checks faster. It's governance by grudge, charity by calculation. Food has become a weapon, not of diplomacy, but of domestic control. The deeper tragedy is moral. America once fed the world. Now it struggles to feed itself. Decades of wealth haven't built resilience, only illusion. A single trade disruption, a trucker strike, or a bad harvest sends prices soaring. Farmers are squeezed, food banks collapse, and the White House tweets about fake news hunger. Every empire collapses the same way, not when enemies invade, but when leaders forget their own people. Trump promised to make America great again. He's made it hungry instead. And hunger is contagious. It breeds anger, crime, despair. When the stomach growls, patriotism fades. The man who built his brand on gold towers may soon preside over breadlines. America doesn't need more slogans. It needs dinner.